Hi everyone. This morning on my coffee walk, I am doing a little organic springtime garden harvest. The sugar and snap peas are still going crazy. Our weather has really been up and down this spring. We've had lots of cool, kind of drizzly weather and a couple of hot days too. So I fully expected the sugar and snap peas to be completely finished by now, but they're still going crazy. You might have seen these peas on my garden tour over the weekend, and I am absolutely thrilled with how they're doing, but I kind of have a feeling this is going to be the last harvest from this plant this spring. So if you want to get started growing your own food, it's so much fun, and sugar and snap peas are a great place to start. They go from seed to harvest in about 6 to 8 weeks. They love the cool temperatures. So if you're just coming into springtime, this is a great place to start. The sugar and snap peas are in my spring garden seed collection, and they are absolutely delicious. So sweet, so tender, a perfect garden snack. Now, one thing I do like to do on my coffee walks is just wander around the garden and see what's ready. And it's always a treat to find sugar and snap peas that are ready to harvest. Harvesting peas from your own garden grocery store is so much fun and so easy. All you have to do is grasp the vine in one hand, the pea in the other, just gently pull it off. You definitely don't want to yank the pea here, as you may damage the vine. These are so tasty. I can't wait to put these on a salad for my lunchtime. It's so much fun to say I grew this. I absolutely love it. Now you notice on these peas here, they are drying from the bottom up, and that just means they're reaching the end of their life cycle. They've got some powdery mildew here that typically happens when you get a lot of moisture, which we have had. And I did go ahead and plant some squash down here underneath. I don't know if you guys can see that. But as I pull the peas out, the squash will get more sunlight and really start filling this area in. Now these are butternut squash, so they're going to trail up this cage and add a really nice pop to my garden bed here. So much fun to grow your own food. I really want to encourage you to grow sugar and sugar snap peas. Well, aisle 1 of the garden grocery store gave us some delicious sugar snap peas this morning. Let's go look on aisle 2 and see if we can find some lettuce to round out our lunchtime salad. Here we go. The garden grocery store is at it again. This red romaine lettuce is such a beautiful lettuce. It's a beautiful red color and a nice long leaf. It holds up really well to salad dressings. It's very sturdy. And this is in my spring garden collection and also in my lettuce seed collection. I just want to encourage you guys, if you think you can't grow your own food, but you have the dream of doing it, start with lettuce. It's such an easy vegetable to grow. It goes from seed to harvest in about 6 weeks. And once you start with lettuce, you're going to gain confidence and feel like you can do it, and other vegetables aren't quite as intimidating. So to harvest this lettuce, I'm doing the cut and come again method, which is just, I'm picking a little bit from each plant, and I'm just harvesting the outer edges just by pinching off at the bottom. And then the lettuce will continue growing as long as the temperatures are cool. Lettuce likes cool weather under 75 degrees, but romaine lettuce is a more heat tolerant lettuce, and it usually will grow well up to about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, I can just taste it now. This lunchtime salad with the romaine lettuce and the peas is going to be absolutely delicious. And I think I'll grab some of these nasturtiums while I'm at it too. Nasturtiums are an edible flower, the leaves are edible, and the seeds are edible too. They're so beautiful. It's so much fun to grow your own tasty, healthy vegetables. And completely organic. Now let's go see what's in aisle 3 of the garden grocery store. Now here on aisle 3 of the garden grocery store, the Scarlet runner beans are ready to harvest. Now you might have seen these beans a few weeks ago on my garden coffee walk, and you definitely want to harvest them when they're nice and small and tender. When the pods get large, they get tough and stringy. Like this one here, I might have missed my window of opportunity, but no worries. I'm going to let this bean dry up on the pod here and save the seeds. So once the seeds kind of bulge out and the pod completely dries up, I'll save the seeds. They're a beautiful purple speckled mottled color. Now these here look still a little bit too small to harvest, but I'm going to come back and check them in a couple of days because they really grow fast. And these are just the perfect size, about 3 to 4 inches long. They're going to be nice and tender and fresh. So again, just like the peas, I'm gonna hold the beans in one hand, the vine in the other, and just gently pull them off. Now this bean here is just about the right size, nice and small and tender. Some other ones up here that look just right. Oh, these are gonna be so good. What I'm gonna do with these is either roast them in the oven or just boil them on the stove in a pot of water till they're nice and tender. And there are just beans all over this plant. It's so much fun to come out in the garden, see what's ready to pick and eat for our evening meal. And beans do like to hide underneath all the leaves. So you definitely want to make sure that you pull up the leaves to check and see if there's any hiding underneath. There are just beans all over this plant. It is loaded down and these grow so fast. So I'm definitely going to be checking these daily because I don't want to miss my window of opportunity for harvest. Now let me just pull back a bit so you can see what this trellis looks like with these beautiful scarlet runner beans climbing up the top. Now there are runner beans, so they climb up over the top, and I planted seeds about every 2 inches along the base of this trellis. So there's probably 10 or 15 plants in here. So if you want to grow a beautiful flowering ornamental bean, scarlet runner beans are definitely the one for you. They're part of my bean seed collection, which has 5 varieties. It also includes some bush beans if you're growing beans in a smaller space. Well, I've got one more aisle of the garden grocery store to check on this morning's coffee walk, and that is the strawberry crate towers. Now, I haven't done a lot with the strawberry crate towers yet this spring. I've been so busy with other parts of my garden. So they have been just a little bit neglected, but I do think I remember seeing a couple strawberries that when I walked by the other day. So let's check these babies out. One action. Now, if you have never grown strawberries or any vegetables in the crate towers, it's a great way to grow a lot of food in a little bit of space. Here I have some kale in here. I've also popped lettuce in here, some nasturtiums growing out of these crate towers. They're looking a little bit neglected right now, but I'm going to be getting out here in the next few weeks and cleaning these up and planting some more. But here we have some berries that are ready to harvest. They're so beautiful and red and fresh and ripe and juicy. Super, super tasty. Growing strawberries is so easy in these crate towers. The bugs do tend to leave them alone in the crate towers because they're up off the ground, and they really like the drainage that the crate towers provide. So these are going to be absolutely tasty. Maybe I'll have them on my lunchtime salad today along with my peas and my lettuce. Now I do have some other strawberries that I think are ready to harvest in the crate towers right up here at the top. I have 3 crate towers all together, and this one over here against this stone wall is always very productive. I think it just gets that little bit of afternoon shade that they seem to like, so the strawberries don't get too hot. And yes, there are some red, ripe, juicy ones down here as well. Oh, this is so much fun. My very first strawberry harvest of the season. Uh-oh, the bugs got to this one. There's quite a few actually in the top here. So red and ripe and juicy. You've got to try growing your own organic strawberries. It's just so much fun and so rewarding to grow your own and say, I grew this. There's actually quite a few hiding in here. These are going to be so tasty on my lunchtime salad. Now you can see in here, there's quite a few dried up leaves. Strawberries really respond well to a good pruning. So I'm going to be getting in here this week, pulling out some of these dried leaves, giving it a good dose of Vermistera worm tea and good dirt plant food to really get the strawberries going again. So if you're growing strawberries and aren't getting very much fruit, make sure you prune off the dead leaves, give it a good fertilizer. They really do need that regular fertilizing in order to be productive. Well, I just want to encourage you to start growing your own garden grocery store. You may not think you can, you may not think you don't have enough time, you may think it's too complicated or it costs too much, and I want to encourage you, just get started. Even if it's just by planting one little container of lettuce, you're going to absolutely love harvesting your own fresh, tasty organic vegetables from your own garden grocery store and saying, I grew this. So at the end of each one of my coffee walks, I just like to sit and reflect on what I'm thankful for. And I love this little area right behind me here with the poppies, drinking some coffee, just having a nice peaceful moment to start off and enjoy the day in the midst of all the hustle and bustle. So thanks so much for hanging out with me in the garden today. I hope you're enjoying your own coffee walks too. Please comment below and let me know what you're harvesting from your own garden grocery store, and pick up some seeds from my seed shop so that you can get started growing your own fresh, tasty vegetables too. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. We'll see you on the next coffee walk.